is change. God is change. All that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change. All that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change. All that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change.
Welcome to Showing Up for Change, our chapel today that falls on Election Day, a day that many of us are in deep prayer for change. Our chapel today has been lovingly crafted and is being lovingly led by the Ritual Craft as Transformative Practice class this semester, and folks have woven from goodness that we've been creating together and visioning together, and we're delighted to invite you in to this embodied experience, embodied prayer for aligned and resonant change without assumption of precisely what that means for you, knowing that many of us are, as we're attending to change in the big systems, many of us are also in moments of liminality, of between the worldness, of moments of change and transition in our own lives. And so as we're showing up today for change, we're feeling into what qualities support us being most well inside of change. I know for me, I'm amidst much change in my life, and I'm leaning into ritual and to community. And I feel so grateful today to be sharing both of those things with you, ritual and community. Thank you for weaving this ritual and this community dedicated to deep, sustainable change.
As we light our chalice, I am going to read an excerpt of Alone with the Alone by Ibrahim Baba. And I would invite you to consider the way that we use language when discussing change in times that are often being referred to as dark or light. We do not have to abase darkness in order to exalt light. This is the Aswad Nurani, a luminous darkness, more brilliant than 10 billion suns. Aswad Nurani, luminous darkness. Demonization of darkness is at the roots of body hatred, destruction of peoples the colors of the earth, fear and hatred of the erotic, queer and transphobia, Islamophobia, Judeophobia, fear and hatred of paganism and earth-based traditions, fear and hatred of people with disabilities, fear of wombs, fear of tombs. The first time I consciously experienced as a child Psalm 51 with the line, "Purge me with hyssop and I shall be clean. Wash me and I shall be whiter than snow." My response was, "But I do not want to be whiter than snow." When I experience people who are not brown identified rambling on with every other sentence about dark to define negative emotions, faces, etc., and darkness as everything evil, diabolical, and bad, I wonder if they wonder about the impact this demonizing of darkness has on brown people or any other beings who feel profoundly erased and demonized by that. Is part of privilege not having to think about the consequences of what one says, of not thinking that some people might experience this as something very suffocating? This is part of my roommate's writing. I'm coming out of a man.
Let's enter into a time of prayer together. O Holy One who goes by many names, great mystery and source of all. We give thanks for the circle of our Star King community, those who are gathered here in person and online, and those who could not be here. Here, as we sit, we begin again, by feeling, by praying, by praising all that is sacred and beautiful. We remember what is true and worthy of our attention. We give thanks for all that is sustained and nourished us. Air to breathe, water to drink, food to eat, love given and received. On this particular day, Election Day, we sit together with so many feelings. Some expressed on our faces, some in tender places in our hearts, some easily named, some hidden. Feeling tense about the upcoming results of today's elections, feeling heartbroken about the violence and hate, feeling angry about the injustice happening everywhere in the country, feeling numb because it is overwhelming, feeling powerless because we do not see possibility, feeling sorrow for all who suffer from the consequences of greed and ignorance and evil, feeling afraid of what tomorrow might bring, feeling hopeful for what tomorrow might bring. We ask that you hold us in tenderness and kindness. Remind us to hold ourselves in tenderness and kindness. Remind us to hold each other in tenderness and kindness. We acknowledge the times that we did not do inner and outer work that was needed. The moments we looked away. The moments we closed our hearts. The moments we dehumanized ourselves. The moments we dehumanized others. We ask for guidance in the rhythm of change, reflecting, acting, learning, resting, stumbling, starting over. We ask for courage to be bold and tender, fierce and steadfast in our love for this world and each other. May it be so. Amen. Yes.
Oh gran Espíritu, Espíritu eterno, Espíritu que contiene todos los espíritus que habitan en este mundo, de todo lo conocido y lo desconocido. Oh gran Espíritu, tú que conoces las intenciones de nuestros corazones, bríndanos consuelo. Tú que sabes lo que está en lo interno de nuestros vientres maternos, danos consuelo. Tú que estás con nosotros día a día, danos consuelo. Tú, corazón del suelo. Tú, eterno corazón del cielo, ven a nuestros corazones y tráenos la paz que tanto anhelamos en este mundo. Así sea, Dios mío.
Meditation.
Please close your eyes if you're willing. And let's take 3 deep breaths on my count. Again. One more. Here we are in the presence of ourselves, witnessing our bodies, minds, and spirits. With each breath we take, we are connecting more deeply into a place of union with all aspects of our being, this community and nature. I invite you to place a hand over your heart. As we feel our heartbeat, it can be a reminder of the blood moving along within us, carrying the love, creation, harmony, edge, joy, growth, and life we are experiencing moment by moment. We are movement. We are transformative beings. We are transformative beings. I repeat, we are transformative beings. And as we are a part of nature, Mother Earth, space, time, everything around us, and those beings that we share this space with, we will continue to transform, change, reshape, modify, adapt, evolve. How do we continue to show up for transformation within and without, for ourselves and for others? As we continue to breathe, inhaling and exhaling, feeling our heartbeat, feeling our constant movements, this could be a question we ask ourselves in moments of courage, in moments of anxiety, in moments of fear, in moments of love. How do I desire to be present and be a witness to change? Here we are, present to the spaces in between, present to the unseen forces, present to the natural flow of life. Here we are breathing, feeling, living, and being. Here we are for us, here we are for each other, and here we are for thee.
We are now going to do a social justice stretch. I invite you to stand if you are willing and able. This can also be done sitting down. I'll have you repeat after me. Reach down to gather power from grassroots.
Reach down to gather power from grassroots.
Reach up to the sky for inspiration.
Reach up to the sky for inspiration.
Stomp out injustice.
Stomp out injustice.
And move in the winds of change.
And move in the winds of change.
Now we'll do it all together a few times. Reach
Down to gather power from grassroots. Reach up to the sky for inspiration. Stomp out injustice.
And
Move in the winds of change. Reach down to gather power from grassroots. Reach up to the sky for inspiration. Stomp out injustice. And move in the winds of change. Reach down to gather power from grassroots. Reach up to the sky for inspiration. Stomp out injustice. And move in the winds of change.
Great, thank you. So, reach down to gather power from the grassroots.
What do you root in to make change?
Community. Family. Trees.
Meditation.
Nature.
Laughter.
Basketball.
Words.
Let's see.
Friendship. Reach up to the sky for inspiration. What inspires you? Art.
Children laughing. Ceremony.
The sound of the ocean. Words.
Courageous leaders. Kindness. Everybody in this room and on Zoom.
Fashion.
Sound, ancient, and contemporary.
Stomp out injustice. What injustice are you stomping out?
Misogyny. White supremacy.
Anti-Blackness.
Ableism, classism, ageism,
Marginalization.
All of those things. Move in the winds of change. How are you showing up for change?
Step by step.
With mindfulness.
Grad school. Ritual. Giving blessings often. Balancing self-care and world care. Engaging with the news.
Not engaging with you.
teaching sex ed.
Accepting and loving myself first.
Great. Thank you.
Want to invite you all to hum with me for a minute. The song we're about to sing, many of you probably know the tune to, but I'm going to read the words because there might be something you haven't heard before. Spirit, prepare me to be a revolutionary, bold and tender, tried and true. With each other, we'll build another world together, me and you. Right. Spirit, prepare me to be a revolutionary, bold and tender, tried and true. With each other, we'll build another world together, me and you. Spirit, prepare me to be a revolutionary,
bold and tender, tried and true, with each other, we'll build another world together, me and you. Spirit, prepare me to be a revolutionary, bold and tender, tried and true, with each other, we'll build another world together, me and you. Spirit, prepare me to be a revolutionary, bold and tender, tried and true, with each other, we'll build another world together, me and you. Spirit, prepare me to be a revolutionary, bold and tender, tried and true, and with each other, we'll build another world together, me and you. Spirit, prepare me to be a revolutionary, bold and tender, tried and true, and with each other, we'll build another world together, me and you.
Baskets will come around as we sing. Please look in, if you're willing, and grab something that resonates with you. Contemplate on a positive affirmation of the change that resonates with you as we sing.
We change everything we touch, and everything we touch changes. We change everything we touch, and everything we touch changes. We change everything we touch, and everything we touch changes. We change everything we touch, and everything we touch changes. We change everything we touch, and everything we touch changes. We change everything we touch, and everything we touch changes. We change everything we touch, and everything we touch changes. We change everything we touch, and everything we touch changes. We change everything we touch, and everything we touch changes. We change everything we touch, and everything we touch changes. We change everything we touch, and everything we touch changes.
Our perception of change is often different, and we come from different backgrounds that influence that. Looking at the item that you grabbed, I want you to continue to contemplate on the positive affirmation of change that resonates with you and that item. In a moment, I will ask you, after we demonstrate, turning to your neighbor and exchanging your items.
Being able to see the lenses of compassion, taking off the lenses of judgment. Music, flowing, dissonant, constantly moving. This is who I am, and this is what I want to be.
Now, if you are willing, turn to your neighbor and exchange your item in your positive affirmation for change.
Something brown crossing about it. Like I could see it traversing the ocean on the boat. And then when it caught my eye, and then when I brought it closer and smelled it, I realized and I want to give it to you. Out of yeah. Like it could be a tool for an ant, yeah, or it could be a scoop for some pulses.
I'm smelling
More like an ant.
Now I may ask you, if you are willing, maybe travel to the other side of the room and exchange this new item and how this represents your positive affirmation with your neighbor.
Yeah, we're not together. Hello.
Okay, I went last time, it just reminds me of my daughter. She comes from school, she wants to question for her books together. One day perhaps we'll stream them all. Remind you of those you come from all sorts of corners. Together.
And I'll ask you again, maybe this time grabbing a new item from a basket in the back or here in the front, and exchanging again with someone you haven't exchanged with already.
I actually just talked to another person that would like to do you want?
Change everything we touch, and everything we touch changes. We change everything we touch, and everything we touch changes. We change everything we touch, and everything we touch changes. We change everything we touch, and everything we touch changes. We change everything we touch, and everything we touch changes. We change everything we touch, and everything we touch changes. We change everything we touch, and everything we touch changes.
In the back of the room, there is a pot. And this is our alchemy pot today. When we hear the word alchemy, some of the first things that we might think of, or the images that come to mind, include maybe transmuting lead into gold or the search for the philosopher's stone, sort of ancient proto-scientists tinkering and trying to bend the natural world to their will. However, for many, alchemy was and is an art primarily concerned with spiritual enlightenment or illumination rather than the physical manipulation of apparatus and chemicals. And the obscure language of the alchemical texts were an allegorical guise for spiritual, moral, or mystical processes. I believe the alchemists wrote about their spiritual discipline under a materialistic guise in order to avoid accusations of blasphemy from the church and state. In the spiritual sense of the alchemical quest, transmutation of lead into gold is an analogy for personal transmutation and purification, symbolic of a religious regeneration of the human soul. Substances, physical states, and material processes were used as metaphors for spiritual entities, spiritual states, and ultimately transformation. Both the transmutation of common metals into gold and the universal panacea that cures all ailments symbolized evolution from a diseased, corruptible, ephemeral spiritual state toward a healthy, incorruptible, and everlasting spiritual state. The philosopher's stone represented a mystic key that would make this evolution possible. Applied to the alchemists themselves, the twin gold symbolized the evolution from ignorance to enlightenment, and the stone represented a hidden spiritual truth or power that would lead to that goal. So when you exit this service today, please stop by the alchemy pot on your way out. This symbolizes for us today an alchemical process of inner spiritual change, which also leads to outer changes in our world. Inside the pot are many inspirational messages from a variety of writers, poets, philosophers, and others. We'll use the spoon to stir the pot, and please take at least 2 or 3, because there are so many. Take 2 or 3 of these alchemical formulas that we've provided and use those messages that you receive in your own process of transformation within and without. Amen.
So I want to invite us to form a circle, and if you're needing to stay seated, maybe you can just bring your chair a little bit close so that you're part of the circle. Can we all
Okay, very good. We're going to sing a song called We Are the People. And the lyrics are, we are the people, we are the ones, we hold the future's just begun now. We've seen that twice, and we sing, listen to the earth, listen to the sky, listen to the wisdom of the ones before us. Miriam has movements for us.
So the first part will connect our hands like this. You feel the energy of the circle and of this community. Expansion. And without pushing your friend over, we're just going to find a really gentle sway in our spine. It doesn't even have to be like necessarily perfect, but just feeling this ocean-like movement swaying. This will be for the first lines, which are, we are the people, we are the ones, we are the future, the future's just begun now. We are the people, we are the ones, we are the future, the future's just begun now. Second part, we're going to listen to the earth by hovering over and holding our ears. This is listen to the earth, listen to the sky. We'll hold our heart with our left hand and reach up the sky, hear from the sky. Listen to the wisdom of the ones before us. We'll pull down and then receive to our hands. Listen to the earth, listen to the sky, listen to the wisdom of the ones before us. Listen to the earth, listen to the sky, listen to the wisdom of the ones before us. We are the people, we are the ones, we know the future, the future's just begun now. We are the people, we are the ones, we know the future, the future's just begun now. Listen to the earth, listen to the sky, listen to the wisdom of the ones before us. Listen to the earth, listen to the sky, listen to the wisdom of the ones before us. We are the people, we are the ones, we know the future, the future's just begun now. We are the people, we are the ones, we know the future, the future's just begun now. Listen to the earth, listen to the sky, listen to the wisdom of the ones before us. Listen to the earth, listen to the sky, listen to the wisdom of the ones before us. We are the people, we are the ones, we hold the future, the future's just begun now. We are the people, we are the ones, we hold the future, the future's just begun now. Listen to the earth, listen to the sky, listen to the wisdom of the ones before us. Listen to the earth, listen to the sky, listen to the wisdom of the ones before us. We are the people, we are the ones, we know the future, the future's just begun now. We are the people, We are the ones. We hold the future. The future's just begun now. With such great gratitude to the pulsing presence, the source of creation, all of what animates us, for the miracle of these bodies and this breath, this aliveness, and the sacred opportunity to come together to weave prayer in this way on this day, with great respect to the first peoples of this place, the beach in Ohlone. We walk in Pomo, whose bodies are this land, and whose home is where we make our ceremony and do our sacred work. With respect for the more than human world that is the web we weave inside of, and our kin. With appreciation for the bright and benevolent ancestors that bless and guide and love us on the way. And with wide hearts turning toward the possibility that is becoming, visioning the world that we most wish to see and seeding it with every step, with every breath, with every word that we speak to each other, each kindness, each action, each moment. Thank you each for your presence with us during our Chapel for Change today. Please remember to stir the alchemy pot and choose a quote or two on your way out. We are so grateful. We are so grateful to make ritual with you.
Thank you.